International Master William Pascal streaming here on Twitch. Playing on lichess.org. We have an issue. We cannot have our stream displayed on lichess.org through Twitch. Seems to be some problem. I'm not really tuned into the technical details. What am I going to have to do? I'm going to have to open like a Twitter account to notify people that I'm streaming. Are you serious? Please don't tell me I'm going to have to start taking up Twitter. I really don't want to do that. But it may take like promote the stream now. If lichess isn't going to be able to display the stream, I'm welcoming ideas from the Peanut Gallery on ways to get the word out that I'm streaming. I couldn't trust myself with a Twitter account, though. I would probably start challenging Donald Trump to a Twitter battle or something. I just don't have enough followers. But I think maybe I'll have to have a dedicated Facebook page or something. We've got to think of ways to promote the stream if I can't have it displayed on lichess directly. I like playing on lichess. I like doing events on lichess. But as long as this problem is in existence, we're going to have less viewers, and I'm going to have to promote the site. So if you have ideas toward this, let me know. I don't know, Mr. Coffee. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but you probably know more about pewter stuff than me. Pewter stuff. So anyway, guys, I'm not going to worry about it today. But while I'm at it, I figured, any suggestions about promoting the stream, getting more followers and viewers? The lichess forum might hurt. Forums generally, Blobix. Forums are like, forums are like ovens. They're more dangerous than the frying pan in many cases. I'm not really a forum person. But, alright, Yabata sent us a game finally. So guys, we've managed to accumulate quite a few submissions for tonight. Mr. Slowhand, the 1200 frustration donation. Wow, dude. Thank you, Mr. Slowhand. Frustration for me or frustration for yourself? I am a little frustrated. Not overly so, I'm sure it will get worked out one way or the other. I was under some kind of impression that the Twitch might be wanting like lichess to pay them or something. But again, you can't trust what you read in the forums. So, Mr. Blobix is not number one. You're number one in my book, Blobix, but for other reasons. For the world. For the frustration of the world. Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff. I had a really busy day. I had tons of lessons today. But I feel good. It's good to be here with you guys and analyze. And the subscriber stream is probably like my favorite stream of the week because it's not... I like to analyze. It's not stressful in the way that playing is. Playing involves putting your ego on the line, and when I'm streaming and I'm playing, it can be frustrating at times. I feel like the analysis stream is maybe my favorite, even though it's our least popular in terms of viewer numbers. I like to analyze chess. I mean, I'm an international master because I like to think a lot and I put the time in, and I enjoy analysis. I remember like John Watson was always funny because he would enjoy the analysis like after the game more than actually playing the game himself. It's kind of funny. All right, but anyway, thanks to Mr. Slowhand for a donation, taking out Blobix in the process. Blobix, there's always a way to get back on top. Just get back on the horse. Start riding again. Mr. Slowhand with 1,200 bits, Blobix with 1,000, Jim with 500. We had support, also no problem at all with a gift sub. Accepting gift subs, Jim W.J. Loof, Alexander's Horse, Osmears, and Coach Ah. Thanks to all you guys for supporting the stream. Always losing eventually. Not against me, though. Not when you're -10. I'm not going to let you live it down. Blogs a sleazy draw in the first round of our Tuesday tournament. Somehow going from -10 to an even game in a matter of magic moments. Anyway, guys, here's the list. Mr. Coffee, Astrobate, Jim, Blobix, Mr. Slow, WJ Loof, Stefanos, and Yabatis. All dedicated, serious members of the community. Upstanding members of the community. 3, 6, 7, 8. So we got plenty of games. Hopefully eventually 10. If I fall asleep, just wake me up. I had a good night's sleep the last couple of nights, just that I worked a lot today, so I might fall asleep during the stream. Mr. Coffee is first. First and foremost. First but not foremost. Welcome, guys, to our stream. Mr. Coffee, where is it? You didn't? Am I hallucinating? Maybe you didn't put in a subscriber stream? Mr. Coffee, did you make a submission or not? You got it right in the middle. Oh. No, that's the Marshall Chess Club. This one, the Rubinstein? Up. Subscriber stream on Thursday 14th. Ah, I thought that was like last week's. No, I should have seen it, but when I saw the date 10/5, I thought it was for the last one. Okay. Reading all of Mr. Coffee's private messages. A lot of dubious stuff in there. Gotta watch out for Mr. Coffee. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching in advance. We're going to get to work here. I don't like the layout of the new Twitch. They've changed some things over there. By the way, I've only enabled one subscriber badge. I have a lot of stuff on my plate at the moment. I will enable more subscriber badges, but I got to do things one at a time. Got a bunch of important bureaucratic things to take care of. We will work on it and improve here eventually. Live for chess. Thanks for being a subscriber. So, Coffee, which game is it? This is it? Just one? Alright. Mr. Coffee's white. D4, D5, knight F3. C6. I hate when people do this. I hate the Slav in general. I never know what to do. I mean, black plays C6 without any need to do it, really. But whatever. I mean, C4 will transpose to a normal Slav. That's not Mr. Coffee's repertoire. He's got the closed systems, the Tory attack and the Kali system Zuckertor variation. This definitely takes some steam out of the Tory attack. We just put our bishop on G5 out in the air. I think I saw a game where Josh Friedel had that position once with black. It was like bishop G5, queen B6. It was like, what are both sides doing here? Bishop G5, queen B6. But yeah, that's weird. It's a little like one of those pseudo Trumpowskis. I don't mean to put the knight on G5. That is not what I intended to do. Let's delete that. So anyway, so you did play bishop G5 finally. Interesting, Mr. Coffee. I didn't think you would go for that. You know, being that black hasn't even played knight F6. I don't know what you're, I guess maybe Chessable. How are you studying the Trompowsky? I would think here you would go into your Kali system type of repertoire with E3. I mean, it's good to have a secondary approach. Probably good to have a secondary approach. We'll put that on file. We'll put it on file to make the screen duller. The suggestion. Thanks for joining us. Bishop g5. It's a provocative move. As I said, I think queen b6 looks interesting. You can definitely play gambit style here. Grade, what grade? Second grade. It's like Boris Johnson talking about Scottish school grades as if they're the same as English, right? No. He's seriously, I'm just making fun. He's seriously, well, I mean, you can see 1870 lichess. I would put him at maybe 1800 over the board. He's got the equivalence for you there. Queen b6, so that's what I expect. Going for that b3 pawn. But White can play in gambit style here. Knight on bd2. I would seriously think about sacking that pawn. You might get some legit compensation. It's not forced. It's not forced. It looks like the main move people play is queen c1. But that's like a real concession. Queen c1 is no better than queen b6. And b3 is a weakening move. So if I were white and I was given this position, I would go for knight bd2. Anyway, this didn't happen. Coffee's opponent played knight f6. So we like kind of transpose to a Tory attack type position anyway. This is fine. I think bishop takes f6 is way overrated. We don't put the bishop there to trade it anyway. Just to trick black into wasting time. Bishop g5 was designed to get black to play knight e4 in a bad position. Troll on a roll, welcome. Why analyze when you can play 5 blitz games instead? I prefer analyzing. So knight bd2, e6, and now black. I'm going to turn off the engine. I don't mean to rely on that. But anyway. e6 allowing white to play e4. That doesn't seem right. d4 castles. Yeah, d4 players castle late. It's true. Thanks everybody for joining the stream. International Master William Pascal. Please tell your friends about the stream. We don't have enough viewers because lichess is not advertising the stream for technical reasons. So I'm going to have to start relying on like social media and word of mouth temporarily to and Twitch to find viewers. This is a bad move, of course. You know, black should just play something solid. Bishop f5 looks fine. It's still not too late to play. Well, it's getting a little late to play queen b6, honestly. Now white has other options like rook b1. I know of Skewerly, yeah. I don't really know him, but I mean, we have people who mentioned him. I think he visited my stream at least once. I don't have time to go to the bathroom most days, so I never get a chance to watch any other streamers, almost ever. But I would if I had time. Anyway, queen b6 is getting a little bit late. Knight e4 is another option. You know, that's interesting. What would you do? Taking isn't so good. We don't have a good square because of f6. So maybe you're actually giving him knight e4 here. Hodgson versus Averbach, 1990. Amazing bladder. I've only gone to the bathroom like once during a stream or something. Not bad for 39. But I mean, consider that I'm drinking beer. Looks like 94 is a good solid move because if we take, we're screwed. You have to play knight g1. No, this is no good. Which makes me think like knight d2 is a mistake. So actually knight d2 is a mistake because of knight e4. That's awkward. So Mr. Coffee, what do? You have to play e3 or bishop takes f6. Maybe you just have to bite the bullet and give up your bishop. I mean, we can't expect an advantage from the Tory attack. but equal should be okay. Not bishop h4 after knight e4. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, let's think about bishop h4. Todor Todorov, frequent guest to our stream. Haven't seen, where's Todor? He's disappeared lately. A frequent guest to our stream and an opponent of mine in 1996. But, seriously, bishop h4 looks reasonable. Okay, it's a solid move. You can also play bishop f4, but you're playing the London system kind of like down half a tempo. Of course these moves are playable. But this is like a terrible blunder by black to allow e4. And now, I guess h6, I should suggest. Why is h6 bad for black here? Guys, welcome to the stream. Everybody is welcome to take part, ask questions. I want to see some life from the spectators analyzing here. Let's get some more interaction. Twitch changed the layout of the front page and it looks really, really weird now. I don't really like the changes, but we're going to live with it. I think, yeah, h6, what are we going to do? I would definitely go for this for black. You can't play bishop h4, can you? I mean, g5, we're just losing a pawn. I'm pretty skeptical. Pretty skeptical of this. Yeah, that doesn't look good. So, white has to take. You would have to take here, Coffee. Black would take back with the queen. And you've got Bjorn Thorfinson against Sigurbjorn Bjornsson. We're going to need some pronunciation help from Yabatis. Do you do Icelandic or just Danish and Norwegian? This is fine. It's okay. White's slightly better. It's a normal position, but nothing special. I think black is really solid here. Okay, let's see what happens. So instead, Mr. Coffee plays e4, black takes, and actually that becomes more like a Rubinstein French. It's still playable for black. Bishop e7, and now knight f6. But as Mr. Coffee well knows, this is a star player, and if we play it like a Rubinstein French, we would typically play bishop takes f6 here. Black has the move c6 in. There's nothing wrong with knight f6. Like, you're okay, you know. Probably you're slightly better. Queen d2, or even bishop f6, or even h4 is playable. But I wonder, I don't know. Now that you make me think about it, I wonder. Is it better to play like this? Got 3 good players with white. 2.5 out of 3. 2 of those guys I've played. Yeah, h4 was interesting. So this position looks very standard, something like queen d3. Although maybe queen d2. Since black has played c6 and has b6 ready to go, maybe queen d2. Minka played this. White is slightly better. But I don't know. Let's see what the Oracle says. The oracle is torn. We're all torn about how do I teach you guys if it's better to take with the knight or the bishop. Maybe it just trolling a roll, you're disrupting the class. Take a seat. Knight f6 or bishop f6. Does it depend on like style? I just don't know how to recommend how to continue here. They're both playable. I could cop out and say that. The computer likes the two bishops. Yes, the computer seems to prefer not giving up its bishop. You know, black can also take with the bishop here, with a boring but solid passive position. But this is like the Rubinstein style with GF. Because you have f5 taking away central squares. Alright. Knight f6, bishop f6, bishop f4. This move is funny. I didn't consider this. In a way, it's weird. In a way, it makes sense. In the way, like, you don't want to trade pieces because you have more space. But on the other hand, it's his good bishop and your bad bishop. It also costs time. So as I said, like, queen d2 seems okay, h4 seems okay, and bishop f6 seems okay. Bishop f4 is okay as well, it's just a little time consuming. Here, you're going to castle kingside. Of course you can try to castle queenside. You can certainly attempt to castle queenside, although I'm not sure like bishop f4 fits that bill. If you're going to try to castle queenside, I would probably go with the h4 and then try to develop as quickly as possible some sort of queenside castles. You don't want to waste time. And you might get some kind of Greek gift sacrifice on h7. I don't know. Probably not. But anyway, white seems a little bit better here. Now, c3 is unnecessary. The engine thinks it's the best move. Oh, it is necessary. He's actually threatening this. Turn off your engines. So it is necessary. There's no discovered check. Takes. Mr. Coffee's better. Where do you put your bishop? d2, e5, g3. This is not bad. Good bishop. Black needs to play c5 to equalize in the center. And that's kind of nice because you can hang on to that pawn with like bishop d6. This looks optically like seriously better for white. And now castles kingside, g6. Black's problem is over here. WJ Loof, welcome. Thank you for your support as always. 200 bits donated. Thanks to everybody for showing up. We don't have a listing on, no one has listings on lichess at the moment. It's down, so please encourage your friends to turn out. And all you guys, please come as often as you can to watch the stream. So our viewer numbers are going to be down until we get the lichess thing sorted out, or I enable a new Twitter feed or something. Seriously, g6, alright. Doesn't do anything about black's main problem here, which is the queen side. I like queen d2. I also like the sort of fundamental rook e1. You also might consider putting your queen on e2. You know, actually, in the moment, you know, I'm wondering why queen d2, because if he's going to play bishop g7 anyway, we're not going to get down there on h6. So come to think of it, queen d2 seems a little bit odd right now. He just literally played a g6. And what are we going to do? If black's next move is, yeah, bishop g7. Now queen d2 seems kind of odd. It might even be better on e2. It's we're splitting hairs here, you know, but time is money, friend. I wonder if the queen would be better posted on e2 and the other rook coming to d1. The other option you have, Mr. Coffee, is to go for activity with a4. It's an interesting question. I don't really know if I like bishop e5. While it's not a bad move, I feel like you have the initiative. You're white. You need to be like developing and doing something active. A4 looks logical. You sort of run out of active things to do, and we're going to add a5 to black's list of things to worry about. Rook d1 is like the standard automatic move here. But this is okay, not a bad move, but again, we're sort of using time. I like trading off his bishop overall, although it's not really doing any damage here. F5 is just F5 is what it is. F5 is an atrocity against chess. No, I don't think rook d1 seems slow. I mean, it's a normal move. You're playing against c5 to some degree. The option was a4 or rook d1. You know, one or the other, but not both. But f5 is just totally unnecessary. Probably black should play something like queen c8 and c5. But he's obviously got a passive position to begin with. It's awkward. Bishop e4 was a good move. Yeah, this is good. And I don't even know which way to take. It's possible that rook takes is strong. For several reasons. Although the knight is like a natural recapture, you get pressure immediately on e6. You can double or triple on e6. You can actually attack e6 like 5 times. Very, very quickly with rook takes. There's also the possibility of queen h6, and now suddenly that makes sense. You look like a genius for putting your queen on d2. I mean, truthfully, black's position is pretty far gone because of f5. But, I mean, even like pawn takes e5 leaves white with an advantage. But it's not the best move. I'm curious here. Computer prefers rook takes. As I said, like I think we've got immediate pressure on e6. We can gang up on that pawn with bishop e3, doubling rooks, tripling on the e file, and playing knight g5. So this is like kind of a little laissez-faire. It's actually interfering with our pressure against e6. How come I think of a hashish pipe when I see the new subscriber badge? Your mind is in the gutter. What can I say? I never thought of that. Do they make bamboo hashish pipes? I'll have to ask Juicebox Wizard to pick one up in Thailand. I don't run into a lot of bamboo on an everyday basis. We're doing the best we can. Limited materials. Welcome, TK Guy. Yeah, this is like, we've totally changed the whole theme. And Mr. Coffee has like, the game is already over after rook takes e5. Between this threat and the just general e6 is gone theme, he kind of like gets lazy and then changes focus completely with c4. Now the whole thing is going to change because we have a resulting weakness ourselves on d4. Plus his knight can just hang out, I don't know, defending. Now we block our pressure against e6 with the pawn on c4. Now, Mr. Coffee, you have to change the entire position around to like a completely different strategy, probably here for white. I don't know. I mean, it looks kind of hard. Now he's going to have counterplay against d4, which is going to make life a little tricky. You still have a big advantage, but it's much, much harder. Something like c5. You're going to have to play for c5 and then reintroducing pressure on this diagonal, and maybe like knight c4, knight d6. I mean, that's the Tartakover-esque knight d6. Who else did that recently that I looked at? It's on the tip of my brain, but I can't remember. You just finished measuring what every road in Tawa Menacing. It sounds like they're all related by some sort of Iowa Tawa. Sounds like Tawa Menacing and Iowa Tawa are probably relatively close together. But it's good to know. Asterbate. Asterbate's ancestral home. Lenape Indians. Alright, knight f6, queen e3, rook e8. There it is. Well, at least now we have an avenue, and we also have a plan for knight there, knight there. I'm not sure queen g5 had anything to do with the general plan, but it looks like Mr. Coffee may have found a new idea. I feel like you're a little bit all over the map here. Kind of gone from one theme to another. Maybe there's nothing black can do. I'd be in a hurry to open the positions on the d file. What if he takes here and tries to contest you? I guess it's going to drop e6. How bad is it? Clear advantage, almost winning for white. I'm looking at the oracle. It's not easy for black, truly. Oh no. You seriously did that? Put the knight. That sounds like good advice, Mr. DK guy. Knight g4. He missed knight g4. I missed it too. That is sort of tricky. How bad is it though? I mean, it's helpmate. Let's say knight g4, rook f8. I mean, b5 probably not my choice here with black. How bad is this? It's pretty bad. Rook f8. I mean, the king is going to h8. Queen is covering e5. I feel like we can afford to lose the pawn there on e6. Is this really clear? It's not. Yeah, Mr. Coffee, you're guilty of playing an unnecessary sacrifice. But a good job. He's down to a minute. He's down to a minute here, and his opponent has 11 minutes. I don't like queen g5. Yeah, I think you got a little off kilter there. And got lucky that he played b5. That is a nice mate, though. You had the advantage the whole game, but you made a lot of slips, and luckily your opponent, wasn't really strong enough to pull out of it. But basically, it was a good game all the way through. It looks like you got a little bit time pressured, and that's why you started getting kind of random here. With queen g5, you just sort of lurch there. I guess it's not such a bad move in and of itself, but it doesn't seem very controlled. This isn't easy to break through, though. But I think the most important sort of mistake was earlier on, when you played knight e5. This is like, how does he even stay alive here? I mean, there's no way he's going to protect e6 5 times. It's like an Alyekin. At this point, Mr. Coffee looks like Michael Adams. Alright, anyway, guys, long analysis. Too long for one game, I know. We need to go on. Guys, thank you for your support. Please tell all your friends, family, and enemies to join us here. We need as many viewers as possible. Some sort of problem with lichess enabling viewers to know about the streams. We only have 14 viewers right now. Everyone participating. Come on now. Mr. Coffee, thanks for the game. I already ate dinner and I'm starving for some reason. What is up with me? I had dinner like 2 hours ago and I'm like suddenly starving. Why is that? Because I need to eat a bigger dinner. Alright. Asterbait, where are you? Thursday commentary game. Kadas opening. Wives. Wives, exactly. Tell your wives. All of them. Almost fell down. Okay, so. Asterbait facing the Kadash Gabor. Kadash Gabor. Mester. Jó estét kívánok, gyerekek. Okay. No Hungarian streams at this time. Thankfully. Kadash Gabor was a Hungarian master. He was famed for playing h4 all the time. Gotta have your, you gotta have your shtick, right? h4 was his thing. It's a move I like to play when I'm like steaming and angry and I want to make my opponents lose while being humiliated at the same time. Alright. h4. b6. Is as good as anything. Probably. I don't know of a known refutation of h4. The one thing I try to do when I'm white, though, I try to use that pawn as a battering ram. It's probably not a real good idea to try to play a fianchetto, g6 is not a good idea. The other fianchetto, not very good. I don't think Emery Tate ever played h4 against me. I didn't know Emery played a lot of weird stuff, but I don't know if he was big on h4 or not. Tate actually played, he preferred to play theory to ridiculous stuff. Alright. But b6, e3. Bishop b7, d3. I've heard of people like trying to legitimize openings like this. It looks like white's taking this seriously. How strong is your opponent here, Asterbait? 1625. He's not just playing random moves. This seems like something I might do after h4. those moves are neutral. You can't really create that many weaknesses with d3 and e3. You can do that sort of half hippo with pretty much anything. My favorite, while we're on the subject, my favorite thing with h4 was to do c3. So I would play like h4, d5, h5, e5, c3. And then my plan, this guy has actually done this. My plan is to actually play queen a4 and then transfer it over here. This is my favorite, quote unquote, system when I'm playing. So typically you might get something like knight f6, queen a4 check, maybe bishop d7, queen h4. And I remember like at least one case where I got this. Maybe some sort of position where I'm forking the pawn at e5 and forking the pawn at g7. But if you notice, like even this position, for example, the engine says black can just sack this pawn. Queen here, rook g8, queen h6. The black queen is the white queen is very, very nearly trapped here. Anyway, it seems sort of insane to talk about this. I just wanted to show you what I would do, if I did play h4 in like a blitz game or something for fun. I like to use the pawn as a battering ram, try to employ the space as some sort of advantage, but it's really not a legitimate opening. Alright, so anyway, this looks reasonable. If h5, you might want to consider playing h6, certain circumstances. Now, yeah, that's cool. Rook g1 is not possible, so naturally white plays rook h2. It almost makes you wonder if rook h3 is an interesting idea. But this protects the g pawn, so that he can play bishop e2. That's his big idea. And then Asterbate just plays bishop e4 check. So, normal position thus far for black, and you decide to play bishop e4 check. Just completely random. Bishop d6 looks like a kind of good move, forcing white to play g3. But then again, you can do that next move. You have lots of good moves here. c5, d5. The engine is suggesting h5. It doesn't like giving the space to white, but it feels like h5, in a way, justifies it. I said white was going to play, to defend the pawn on g2, but it's actually about playing g4, g5. He's trying to unleash the beast there with g4, g5. That's why the engine, maybe rightfully wants to play h5. I don't want to leave this turned on. It's just biasing my analysis. So now bishop e4 check, totally random move. I would just play c3, although bishop d2 is not a bad exchange for white. Asterbate, keep in mind, you're better now, and trading pieces kind of helps him. So I really don't have a problem with that move from white's perspective. I'm not sure bishop e4 check helps you. Now what do? You're going to go back. Even c3 is not a bad move for white. And now what? That's a good move, though. Bishop d6. f4 is very weakening. g3 is very weakening. This is our best option. And now he's run out of plans. He doesn't have g4. So he goes for e4. And our bishop is now obstructing our d pawn. This is a bit too much. Obviously, it was already too much. But moving his rook back into another diagonal doesn't seem like a good idea. This I know what he's up to. He's preparing bishop e8. Asterbate wants to move bishop e8, but he didn't want to get his rook stuck. But why not just bishop c7 here? Seriously. Let's play d5 as fast as possible. That would be what I would recommend. Try to open it up immediately, as soon as possible. I know to a lot of people this seems like an absurd game, but white isn't maybe that bad. He's just messing around in the opening. This is gonna take you. It's gonna take you 3 moves to play d5 now. He got in his g4. And I definitely wouldn't put my knight on e5. I'm thinking bishop b8. And we're already having problems with g5 now. You should probably seriously consider playing h6 to slow it down. But this is asking for trouble. Aren't you losing a piece here? We're going to have to sack a piece now, and I'm not sure we really want to do that. So this wasn't well calculated. White has f4. Oh, he can't play e5. Maybe. You don't have a good place to put your knight, though. What is your plan after f4, Asterbate? I think you're just overextending yourself here. You have to play knight g6. And now he's just gaining tempi with these pawns. White can probably hold a position with knight h3 now. Or that drops h4. Is it possible he's overextended to the point where he's just dropping a pawn? I mean, even g5 is possible too. Man, that ambulance is extremely irritating. Wow. Alright. It's gone now. So, I don't know. I don't like it, Asterbate. It's too many free pawn moves for white. I realize there's a chance white makes a mistake and overextends itself, but it could be a good player here is going to punish you. It's a mess. What's wrong with g5? You have to play knight g8 now. I don't know. Black is better, but it's getting kind of weird. I don't really like having to pull my pieces back. I don't think you should play knight e5. Maybe simply h6 here. I don't really want to have to play... How about this move, actually? Can we play... Where's the actual game? g5. Oh, this is the game. But instead of knight e5, what can we do? Can we do c4? No. This is a problem. It's hard to open it up and take advantage. Maybe rook c8 was too slow and too fancy. Just bishop c7, dude. Just play bishop c7, and if he starts rolling, then you have time for d5. What about this? Maybe not. I mean, even here, this isn't so bad. It's hard to believe this is bad. This seems a little smoother than what happened in the game. I don't want to end up with my knight on g8. I want everybody to be happy. Guys, welcome to my stream. We're analyzing subscriber games here via Twitch and lichess. International Master William Pascal. I live in Budapest, Hungary, here with my pet Panda. And if you can afford a donation or to subscribe to the stream, it would be much appreciated. Anyway, things got out of control. Bishop f4 is just a horrible move by white. His entire advantage is these pawns avalanching. But bishop f4 gets in the way. This is this is black's problem, the knight being vulnerable to the pawn attacks, and then white puts a bishop on f4. It's the stupidest move in the world. Of course you have a combination here, but I'm not talking about that. Like, he's interfering with his own f4. So now you had a tactic. Asterbate 2 attached to his plan, you know. Rook c8, bishop e8, etc., etc. You need to stop and think about what's happening here. This is just hanging. Knight takes d3, bishop f4. Everything is set now. You're good. And you just missed a tactic for 2 moves. You're too focused on your pre-planned idea. You got to understand, it's a two-player game. Astrobate. You know, the other guy is playing moves, and you got to try to think about them, incorporate them, you know, into the way the position is changing. You can't just play your pre-planned plan against everything. Okay, this is hoping for smothered mate while allowing d5 with tempo. He still didn't do it. I mean, this just breaks the center. Plan? Am I supposed to have a plan? I don't need no stinking plan. I mean, d5 popping open along diagonal. That's all I've been wanting to do since you played like rook c8. This wasn't such a big deal, by the way. Rook c8 is overrated. I mean, you did all that stuff to get your rook to c8, but it doesn't really do a whole lot. It was not a priority. Again, b5 is not a bad move, but d5 is really important. The flank attack is met by the strike in the center. Bam. Now I'm sure that white is done after d5. Why are there not more siblings of chess masters playing top chess? Chess is a tough game to learn, man. I mean, it's just, maybe they don't want to torture their siblings. I don't know. Chess is just not fun. It's hard work. That's one theory anyway. So b5, anyway, knight a3, awful, a6. And white just played horribly. That's a good exchange. And now Astrobate finally goes for c4. Certainly not a bad move. Undermining the e4 pawn. And there it goes. Blame. Did you need that central pawn? Yeah, I mean, this is ugly. Maybe it's safer in the center? I don't know. And I know this seems a materialistic move, but it might actually be best. Because with it falls the g pawn and the whole pawn chain. And it's over. This is an unusual submission by Astrobate. He's usually got some kind of like quick mate or something. Castles, safely castling. And the queen b1, not really. I would think like b4 here would be pretty nasty. How do you meet b4, Astrobate? How does he meet b4? Threatening b3 and breaking his pawn structure. This is just horrible. I can't watch. Anyways, we'll just speed through the rest. Not much to see here. It's coming to an end, thankfully. Mercifully for your opponent. Yeah, that was a weird game. I don't think his Kaddish opening is looking too good. He needs to brush up on h4. Alright. So that was weird. A very strange game. Jim is up next. We've got Jim, Blobix, Mr. Slowhand, WJ Loof, Stefan, and Yubatis. Mr. Jim. Is Jim in the house? Supposed to be a game for Thursday, but don't do it if at all you have more than 7-8 games. It's not a great game, Rapid versus German. German FM. Is that the same guy? No. Stony. Stony. Jim versus Stony. Knight of 3. Stony is white. Our hero is black. The Sicilian Invitation. I like this. I hate when they play the symmetrical English. That's what we got. Knight f6. Knight c3. Knight c6. Um, I play this position with white mostly. Death match just challenged me to 15 plus 15. That's nice, but not today. I just got done doing 5 chess lessons, and now I'm doing a live stream. Not really in condition to play a serious long game. Live for Chess says, yes, dragon. What's that? Yes, dragon. What should black do here? I mean, knight c6 is a main move. The ambulance is coming back again? That just happened. It's like Groundhog Day. Knight c6, g3. Okay, so it's like a delayed Rubinstein variation. Yeah, I mean, come to think of it, I like d5 immediately. That's fine. But white hasn't played g3 yet. He's not committed to playing Rubinstein English. Once I play knight c6 and he plays g3, now we get a kind of Rubinstein English. Now, I remember this position. I think white can play even d4. Why are Hungarian ambulances so freaking loud when there's no traffic because there's a pandemic and half the people don't even work and have jobs? We don't need to have the siren on. Alright. cd5, knight d5, bishop g2, and now e6. Pass pawn 9999. Subscribe to tier 1. Thank you for subscribing. That's 23-month streak. Speaking of subscribing streaks, I want to get our subscriber badges, you know, for like 1 year and 6 months and everything up, but I haven't had a chance. The bamboo is just the first level. But here Jim makes a very big mistake. Very big mistake. I was recently doing a series on Botvinnik and his results where he had space advantage. Probably like one of the best players to study if you want to play a positional style where you just take and sort of consolidate space advantages. Here, this variation basically like makes me not want to play the English opening anymore with white. Like, if you look at the main lines in Opening Explorer, this is kind of a scary statistic, but it's for real. Like, after castles, the text move after knight c7, white has 30% and black has 31%. That's how good this Rubinstein variation with knight c7 is for black. Not equal, but black actually has a plus score at the master level in this variation. I mean, it's unbelievable, you know. I've played too many games. I know that it's fine if you're playing an inaccurate opponent or something, but if you're playing a strong player, like, it's just really tough. In fact, like, most of the time when I get this sort of position, I've been playing like e3 lately, because I don't even want to deal with that Rubinstein variation so bad. I'm at the stage where I'm playing e3 on move 4. I was just talking about this position with move 11, one of my friends and students and one of the subscribers here. Like, seriously. We always thought that g3 is a better move, putting the bishop on the long diagonal, but it may not be. You know, maybe it's better to play d4 or e3. So anyway, this is a poor move, e6. Now black's going to end up transposing to like a semi-Tarrasch, which is better for white. Look at the statistics now. Like, cover your eyes. Look at this position. Let's play knight c7. 30% for white, 31% for black. Now go back and play e6. Incomplete. Now look at the statistics. 31% for white and 15% for black. I mean, statistics aren't everything, but I can tell you from my personal experience, it's really true. Like, that's how much better this line is for white after e6. Castles, knight f6, and this is not even theory anymore. Jim basically leaves book with knight f6. The normal move is bishop e7. You heard Bronstein hated Botvinnik. Botvinnik. I don't think that Bronstein really hated anyone, maybe. He was a really nice person, you know. Maybe disliked is a better word. They had a lot of problems. But, you know, Bronstein was sort of beloved by everyone. I guess Botvinnik wasn't easy to get along with. He was favored by the Soviets. He was like, you know, it's a long story. I don't think that Botvinnik is as evil as like Korchnoi or something. Knight f6. Anyway, they had a lot of bad blood between them in their matches. I don't know chess history as well as a lot of experts, though. Okay, so bishop e7. This is just non-theoretical. Interesting. Black's done okay here in a handful of games. I would imagine maybe the position could be arisen by different move order or something. I'm also not sure about d3. Wonder if White could play d4. Is it too much to ask for? Yes, probably. You know, now that I think about it, maybe we can invent something more dynamic. See e3. Victor with a K. But there's a guy who understood a little bit about chess. This is one idea. To try to play d4. Who's the evilest chess player? Well, Korchnoi was up there. I don't know. It's a good question. I don't think Korchnoi was evil. He was just like really mean. A3 is another idea to try to play b4. I kind of like that. It looks like d3 is not a big deal. It's an interesting idea by Jim. If we could play b6, we're probably okay. But I can't imagine sacking an exchange. So basically I'm saying like you can't play b6 because of knight e5, and then bishop a8, and we don't have enough stuff for this. If we had a way to get a pawn for the exchange sacrifice, I could start imagining it. So queen d7. Is still not going to work. How do we sort out the long diagonal for black? Ideally to play b6. There's no way to do it. That sucks. This is kind of a cool idea by white. Putting pressure there. But Jim just doesn't care. He stopped b4. Okay, guys, what's the time limit of this game? Does anyone have a clue? h3. It's a really weird move. Another ambulance. That's 3. Let's count. Ambulance count is at 3. Knight d5, knight d5, e d5. This changed the structure. It was really not necessary to do that. Every time you move a pawn, I would think that can't Jim just play like b6 here and stay really solid? I guess the problem becomes like, what do you do after that? What are we going to do next? Not clear. Bishop e8 or something? The bishop belongs over here on b7. No dogs. Just birds and ambulance eye. Anyway, alright, this isn't too bad for black, but it changes the structure. It changes the structure slightly. He has queen b3 with a double attack. That's a little concerning. That might be a problem. Perhaps black can play bishop e8. Like queen b3, bishop e8 with the idea of queen b7, rook b8, and then take the pawn on b2. Shredding white structure. Then it might be not that bad for black. We might be able to hold. Yeah, I don't understand what the big deal is. What's wrong with bishop e8 here? It's the best move. Spied instantly. I'm the master of bishop e8. But I realize the most important thing, of course, we have to get that pawn on b2. So he didn't find queen b3. He played queen c2, not interfering with his pawn. You know, routine move here by white. And now Jim is cagey. He's being cagey. I like this. He's threatening c4. He's like, in your face, queen c2. Suddenly black is active, no tangible disadvantage. Wow. That's amazing. Queen a4, queen d7. And I mean, white needs to play like b4 structurally. But black is threatening knight d4, knight e2 check. So he moved his king. And then a5 to stop b4. It's a committal move, though. I'd rather not play a5 if I don't have to. I suppose Jim has other moves here. He's going to slightly weaken his squares with a5, and I think I don't know if I really like it. This is like, dude, there's a bishop on that diagonal. Are you aware that there's a bishop on that diagonal? What about c4? Am I missing something here? Someone mentioned e4. Yeah, I mean, rook c2 is like a ridiculous move. He just didn't know what to do. Yeah, e4 is possible. It's not a big deal. I mean, whatever. e4 doesn't really do anything. I wouldn't even take it if I don't have to. Probably just bishop e6. I mean, white's pawns, he has just as many weaknesses as black does. Everybody has weaknesses on the queen side. I don't think that white has anything here. I'm not sure we want to take with our strong pawn on d5. Another ambulance, that's number 4. It might still be number 3, like far in the distance. Bishop e6 looks good. I like black. White doesn't have any advantage. This is a very conservative move. And now, okay. So could we strike with c4? Oh, was that the problem? If we had played c4 last move, would he have that? No, b6 weakens himself. What is this? Yeah, c4 is good. Queen b5 according to the engine with equality. Well, anyway, c4 is possible. This is better according to the computer. Wow. I'm concerned that white has a break now. Like, we can't play c4 because of, well, we're not threatening anything. If we play c4, maybe we're not threatening anything else. We're going to sacrifice a piece. And basically there's 3 things that could be on c6. Queen traps? Yeah, I mean, theoretically possible, right? That's an idea. I kind of like getting off the file, but if white has b4 or d4, Now he's starting b5 with a massive position. So queen b5. Yeah, this is weird. Jim is clearly not using an engine. Oh, it's so annoying, queen b5. And I really hate this move. Anyways. So he's just hanging in exchange here? What is this? Is this for real? I don't get it. It's probably like a bullet game. Jim decided to play the positional treatment with c4. I would take the rook on a good day. Anyway. Yeah, g4. I didn't like h3 in the first place. I don't think he has any business playing h3 and g4 in this line of the English. White's getting pretty much crushed. He's lost on the queen side. He's like losing on the king side. The king's position is weakened. This is like a lost game over here with the protected passer on c4. What's up, Silicone? No, not a good game for White. I thought it was a creative effort by Jim. And he just missed, like, naturally. What I missed is that this rook is taking on d7. When you look at the position at first glance, you're thinking, okay, the rook on d takes, and you get mated on the back rank with rook e8. But when you play knight takes d4, the second moment you realize, oh, wait, I can take with my b rook and not get checkmated on the back rank. I think that Jim would have played knight takes d4, but he probably hallucinated he was getting back rank mated. This also attacks the white king, though. It's not a bad move, is it? And then he takes the pawn. So that pretty much confirms it. Like, at first it looks like he's attacking the king side, but he was just thinking he makes it so that he doesn't get back rank mated. But he could have just taken the pawn right away. It's a fast game. And now it's just like two connected pass pawns wins. Jim has a habit of choking in winning positions, and I'm beginning to do that myself a lot lately. I don't like losing that b5 pawn. We needed that one. Now it's like a very fine margin. We're only winning by a very slight margin. Now this is no longer a protected pass pawn. We're losing it. She's breaking up. Captain, she's breaking up. There could be a sudden mate or something. Like a study like mate. Oh, what happened? Knight f5 check. King g2. d4. Totally random. Actually not random. Get behind the pass pawn. This just like crazy blunder. It's a technical endgame. I mean, maybe it's a draw, but not easy. Anyway. Alright, White lost. Sloppy game. So, Pichushkin murdered 53 people. I didn't know about him. Did you get that on your... You just like Googled who's the worst chess murderer? They left that part out of my treasury, the golden treasury of chess lore. Blobix is up, but it's you know, it sounds like a good plot for a horror movie. The chess murderer. All right, Blobby, master of the gorilla team. A blitz miniature I played a few weeks ago on lichess with a good friend. Twice French champion some decades ago. This is Ihe Mate. Wait, perhaps this one is more interesting. It shows a dangerous subline in the Caro. Ooh, a game versus a FIDE master. Okay. We'll do your latest submission here. Jadub first. Jadub Hacienda. Alright. Blobix, you're playing white. They stopped him at 53 squares. That's just not right. Well, the movie, they're going to have to change it to like they got to 63 and he was on the 64th murder when he was stopped heroically by the police. 53 is just not interesting. All right, so this is the Petite Rouge Cibre. Okay, I'm not going to try to pronounce it. Blobix is white. Oh, it's a line in the Caro. Well, you played this once against me, I think. I don't really play this line that much because it's like everybody knows how to play this variation with both colors. The Caro-Kann for me, it's just always been a difficult opening. I want to play it, but it doesn't work well. I don't remember if you played this or not against me, Blobix. I have the feeling that you did early on in our encounters here on lichess. I want to, I don't know, there's two ways that Black could approach this. He could say, okay, I'm going to like try to get control of f5, fight you for f5, or I'm just going to, you know, play e6, stop f5, and just live with it, let you play f5 or not, you know. There's some people that have gone to the extreme of playing h5 here. Garcia Palermo. Specialty. So assuming f5 is not good, you know. One of my favorite lines in the Caro-Kann is this, when you can like go queen f5 here. This is an interesting pawn sacrifice. Black's given up the bishop pair and weakened himself with h5. I'm being half serious, but it might not be that bad for white. Damn. So the engine's got white at a +1 in this position. I think that casts some serious doubt on Garcia Palermo's variation. What are you telling me? Like f5? You're going to play bishop h7? Maybe you are. We'll give him more credit since he is a grandmaster. Queen h5, queen d4 falls. If knight h5, f5 falls. Maybe this isn't so bad for Black. Peter doesn't buy it. Okay, we refuted Garcia Palermo's h5 pretty quickly there. That didn't last long. Well, it's not refuted, but I mean, white gets us pretty serious initiative. You agree, I agree. h5 is too much. So there's like no choice. You have to play e6. Now here some people have gone as far as to play h4. Speaking of too much, something is rotten in Denmark with h4. I doubt h4 is a trustworthy continuation. There's only so much you can afford in terms of luxury in the chess openings. Mamajarov Karpov, 2009. It's just so many people just abused Karpov. He just hasn't been serious, you know, since like 2000 even. You did Polgar beating him in matches and stuff. He doesn't care, you know. He's a chess hobbyist now. You can't take that game seriously. Knight f3. Best. So this is the line You did Polgar. Oh, when you played against Halifman, it's a different story. Yeah, no, so my question is, should black play like knight h6, knight e7 to try to control f5? Or should black just say, whatever, let you play f5? This, I think, right? This seems to me the recommended continuation. So by threatening that indirectly, f5 is rendered non-dangerous. I think that Blavix's friend played the best move, probably. Look at the score here. Blavix, is there some question about what the best move is here for white? Because bishop d3 is not looking too healthy, statistically speaking. 12 games doesn't count, but still. Statistically, it shouldn't matter. A 12-game sample size, still, it's enough to wonder if there's a coincidence. I think the first coincidence is that nobody good plays f4, with the exception of Judith Polgar. So the opening may be better than its statistical result, but with the back it. Blavix, when you get the GM title, they'll start taking it seriously. But I wonder now, is this the right move, bishop d3? There's some people who play bishop c4. Again, h4 is really feeling too much. So I guess our only option is really to go here. I'm feeling very Johnny Hector-ish right now. How about you? I'm surprised we haven't seen any Johnny Hector games. He has his own special trashy line against the Caro-Kann. Okay, bishop d3. We're just going to ignore the statistics. Okay, so this is a mistake. You never want to play bishop takes d3 unless you have to. Alexei Dreyev. He's got the greatest openings, right? I never played in a tournament, I don't think, where Hector was playing. Maybe once. I just don't think so. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think I ever met him. But okay, he's legendary. So it doesn't look right to play bishop takes d3. Knight e7, knight f6, queen c7, pretty much everything else does okay. Have you guys noticed this guy, Ryazantsev? Can you see that when I'm highlighting it on the stream? You can't really see it when I'm highlighting the games, but there's this first game on the list. The Russian Grandmaster Ryazantsev, the guy must play like 150 games a year. He seriously has a game in every opening, every variation that you ever look at, the guy has games. I don't know how many games you can play in a year. I mean, he must play like 150 or 200 games. But anyway, all right, I don't like this. I don't like bishop takes d3. That's his first mistake. Let's see if the oracle agrees. The oracle firmly believes in queen c7. I want to see someone play this against Dreyev. I want to see Blavix Dreyev. Lichess 2020. What would happen in this position? That's up for grabs. Queen c7. You might get a draw. Burmakin, another legendary Caro-Kann aficionado. We're big blackjack buddies. All right. Bishop d3, bishop d3, queen d3, g6. Ugh. I'm going to turn off the engine now. We're on our own. Yeah, that doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem right. Castles. You know, it's actually kind of difficult to say where you should castle. It's tempting to think about castling queenside. I know that somebody was surprised when you played that. Wow. Is this sound? Have you checked with the oracle? The French oracle? I admit, like, white probably has compensation. But I mean, man, he has 3 options, at least. Maybe 4. GF, EF, bishop takes G3, knight takes F5. Can you say intuitive sacrifice? Can you? I feel like Homie the Clown. Hi, kids. Can you say intuitive sacrifice? Come on, say it with me. I should put like a blackboard behind me. That'll be like a new feature on the stream. We could do like a Mr. Rogers themed stream. There's no way that Blauwick's calculated this. It's just, alright, whatever. Take it however you want. Not really intuitive, he said. Bishop G3, variation A. Oh my god. That's evil. The poor opponent, like, he probably spent like 10 minutes analyzing like how it's going to go after H takes G, and Blauwick just played pawn takes pawn. 10 minutes of analysis out the window. And this is where you like sink your head in your hands and you're just like, I just want to go home. I give up. I forgot he could take on E6. Oof. This is just brutal. But I mean, seriously, the bishop's a dark square defender. You understand you have to open the position. That's the thematic idea. Okay, so he played probably like the worst move, bishop takes G3. In retrospect, it's easy to say that. I feel like he should keep these pieces to protect himself. I guess take with the G pawn. Now this is... Can you please tell us what's happening after G takes? I'm ready to play King D7. We're going to bail out at any moment. I mean, I fully understand you have absolutely everything under control here, and white is probably almost winning. But at least we'll make it interesting. If he does not take on G3, I could play knight E4. I don't think you could play knight E4. Sorry? Well, you're not going to play knight E4. I mean, here is also possible. What did you mean to say? The oracle says knight takes F5. Now knight E4. That I understand. Well, whatever he did, like, you had compensation. I mean, I fully agree. But man, this is just like, we forgot you could do this. This is a bad scene. This is just over, I think. It's like pawn takes E6 resigns. Yeah, I don't envy Black's task here. There's this. I mean, I don't know. There's the other knight. Like, if you try something like this, the other knight can come in. Do you have a visitor's pass? Here. I mean, maybe black's okay, but what a weird position to have to defend. Yeah, knight g5. Knight h5. King d7 is the best move. See? I did that without the engine. I found that move on my own. And white has really good attacking chances. But anyway, like, it's entertaining. Very nice. Very nice sack. Steinitzian. And, yeah. You're not getting away. Well, there is one last chance to play King d7. That's what he did. There must be the denouement around here, right? Where is it? Maybe black actually saw this far and he didn't find the end. Can we just play 95 check? Even 95 check, actually. Well, then I guess King c7. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you're just winning here with some sort of normal moves without anything fancy. Subtle knight h7, queen h3 check. Black will have knight f5. But there's stuff like queen b3, acerbate like queen potential. Oh, you're not going to sack a rook, are you? You did that. Master had that. That hurts. I guess I would play like h6 or something. This is ugly. h6, queen h3. Alright, so take, king e7. And now we've got to wait. I haven't seen the finish. Where's the end? Where's the end? Queen e6 check, king f8. I thought there'd be some sort of insane mate or something. That's sort of surprising move. I didn't think it was that deadly. Now we got the dog. It's a different dog. Here. f8 check. It is rather awkward to defend this position. That's awkward. I feel like he purposely let you mate him. Like the old school 1800 style. Gentleman agreement. Like, we'll just let you play the most beautiful mate or something. It's a French master. They respect stuff like art in chess. What is art in chess? So, no, good game. That was instructive. Just wiped him out. Nice. Alright, Mr. Slowhand. Guys, welcome to the stream. We are encouraging you to encourage others to join the stream. Without the help of lichess to attract more viewers, our stream is a little bit limited at the moment. So if you know someone who might enjoy the stream, be sure to inform them about it. Alright, we normally have the least viewers for this stream anyway. This is kind of a private subscriber stream. I like to focus on analysis. Mr. Slow is up next. Guys, if you can support the stream, please donate. Gift a gift sub. If there was anyone to gift a gift sub to in the stream. You can always gift a gift sub. Even if they're already a subscriber. You can gift one to me. Well, all artists are not chess players. All chess players are artists. I don't know about... I take issue with Duchamp. I'm not sure they're all artists. That's very kind of him to say, though. Hi, Sladgie. For Thursday's subscriber stream, a short, straightforward attacking. Okay, this is from. Ironically, Mr. Slowhand, I accused of always like submitting like extremely long classical King's Indians, tiring me out. All right, I think it's very nice of Marcel Duchamp to claim that all chess players are artists. It's a nice romantic idea. I'll leave it at that. Some of them are finger painting. That's all. You know, they're still finger painting. All right. Blitz chess. Sloan versus Pi Day. Guys, we will be back tomorrow. Viewers or not. So, Mr. Slow, thanks for your donation to the stream. I want to highlight the fact that Mr. Slowhand donated 1,200, Blobix with 1,000, Jim with 500, WJ Lou 400, Alexander's Horse, Asmir's, and Coach. Thank you guys, all of you. So, I need more exercise, get better breath control. I'm not in good shape. Need to exercise more. This lockdown is. It's also hot in here. I have to keep the window closed to some degree because of all the outside noises. Budapest is a loud city. We've got ambulances, dogs, birds. What's next? Construction across the street in the city park. So Mr. Slowhand playing this opening. And now black played d6. That I've never seen. I guess you're essentially like playing a kind of c3 Sicilian, but like a bad variation. Hungarian crow. Did you guys catch that? There they are. Crows here look different than North America. The North American crows are usually like the all black ones. I don't know how, I guess it's across Europe similar, but it's funny that the crows have this sort of grayish, gray and black coloration. It's funny. Very interesting. C takes d4, knight f6, knight c3, knight c6, and f4. I noticed how some of our viewers left, and there's no excuse. There were 15 of you here before, and you all better be here till the end of class. Troll and a Roll probably left the stream. At least leave the stream, tuned in. Even if you have to go do something else, leave it turned on. Turn it on your children's computers. So we've got basically a c3 Sicilian Piert style position here. This looks great for white. This is just really good. Okay, d6 is bad. Now knight c3. Yeah, the best move is g6. You're avoiding work for me. Thank you. But you're doing it for both of us. You know that. Knight c6. Alright. Ochotnik. I played Ochotnik in February. Battle in the endgame. But yeah, knight c6 is always kind of dubious in the c3 Sicilian. It seems like it's inevitably getting hit by d5. This is definitely the best try to play g6 here. We've been through this a couple times in different lines. We had a discussion about this type of position once, several months ago. I think there was like a Godina game. Let's see. h3, castles. Where should white put the bishop? Bishop d3, knight c6. Now, you know who had a game in this? It was Jim. Jim had a really nice game a couple months ago, right before the pandemic started. We analyzed where he played kind of creatively, like a6, I think. He was very patient with black, making this like look sort of semi-playable. All right, let's see. So knight c6. I mean, clearly you could play d5 here. I don't think that there can be anything wrong with that. You know, fundamentally, casting down on black's position. If Ochotnik played it, it must be good. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, he's a good player. He won the World Senior to become a Grandmaster. Very respectable result. Hoping to do the same thing myself soon. But seriously, why not play d5? You know, you're not comfortable. Not everybody feels comfortable with the structure. This is clearly like, I mean, f4. White's got to be in good shape here. You could also play bishop e2. Black's probably better off playing knight b8. I guess black will just play like a sort of Nimzovich defense. So that's one option. f4 is interesting, though. I mean, I can't believe it's a bad move. That's good as well. I wonder if black could try like d5 or something, a tempo down. Bob, welcome. Now that I don't have enough viewers, I have to be nice to all my viewers and cherish them. Cherish even Bob. I'm just kidding, buddy. How are you? So if d5 now, can we try to take advantage of f4 by using that time you've given us to legitimize our position in the center? Something like d5. Definitely looks like it's worth a try. How is this, according to the Oracle? Totally playable. Okay, the critical line is e5, and then you could play knight g8, you could play knight d7, you could play knight e4. That's the most aggressive. Legit position. It's a legit position. All right, so that's cool. The refutation of f4 to some degree. Alan, thank you. I'm donating wisdom. Yeah, I mean, f4. If black doesn't act quickly, you know, the sale will expire. You got to ask yourself, how do we deal with f4? Get rolled off the board or take a stand in the center with d5? I would prefer to take a stand. But instead, I mean, even e5 deserves, actually, you know, consideration. Maybe this is okay, too. That's the problem with f4. It's a tad slow, so black can get something viable going on. Probably knight f3. Let's say you played knight f3, and black tried this anyway, maybe d5. I still feel like that's not that bad for black, actually. It's insane. I mean, you're down a tempo. How is that okay for black? He's played d5 in 2 moves. How can that be okay? It's another vote for Ochotnik here. You know, you got to do d5 while you can. Yeah, I mean, it's a good point by Blobix. But Ochotnik seems to understand something. Get it while it's good. Get it while it's hot. You know, play it while you can. I had the game against a kid, like in February, where I played, you know, the Nimzovich defense with d6, and he immediately played d5. Like, very few players play this. And he just reeled off, like, the first couple of moves that the engine would have played. Like d5, knight b8, c4. And then he played f4, and he just took all the space with the pawns. I thought, oh, this is nothing. White will overextend themselves. And I found myself, like, offering a draw after, like, 20 moves to a low-rated opponent because I was terrified that my position just sucks. I think there's something to be said for it, you know, grabbing that space. All right, anyways, so he didn't play that. He played g6, knight f3. Now basically we have like a Austrian attack type of Pierce looking thing. Modern defense. But I'm concerned about bishop c4 immediately. Well, first of all, we have a problem with knight e4. We're going to have to analyze knight e4. Why not d5 and knight c6? Yeah, well that's what we're talking about, Blobix. That's what Hohetnik played. Yeah, it's the best move. But oh, d5 right away? Well, yeah, whatever. All right, we're back to the game. f4. I'm thinking here. Bishop c4 is apples and oranges. You're playing like too many variations here, it looks like. You got a lot of center pawns and you need to enforce them or reinforce them. I would think bishop e3, we would want to probably consider that, maybe first and foremost. Or you can play the Bobby Fischer style Austrian attack with bishop d3. Yeah, Blobix, I'm thinking like knight takes e4 is like maybe mandatory. Now, we obviously have bishop f7, but I mean, white's position looks kind of hollow here. I don't like this. Just too many weaknesses all over the map, you know, on the white squares. Doesn't look good. And if you have to do knight e4, then d5, and all our problems are solved. So, it doesn't look good. I think we can conclude that knight e4 is a strong move. Yeah, it totally blows white's center. So, you've got to be incisive in the opening. This is really important. Black has like an advantage after knight takes e4. Instead, he plays this. This gives white a chance to legitimize his position. Even after castles now, this has got to be a good move. A second chance. He doesn't do it. Instead, playing this move that breaks principles. Knight a5 is horrific. We're not going to equalize or get an advantage. We're going to play knight a5, putting our knight out on the side of the board. Now the center looks ominous. e5 can be played. It can probably be played here. I would imagine this would be appropriate now. I used to play the Pierce long ago. I never really talk about it too much. That was when I first opening. It was my first e4 opening, defense against e4. And it's not an easy opening for black. I used to play like classical Austrian attack, I should say, variations with knight c6. This is the moment where e5 starts to look like it's really good, especially with maybe knight d5 coming in at some point with the queen on c7. That's a bad move, especially with an open file also for white. Black really went from a good position to a bad position in like one move. Now a6, again, you're blasting him with e5. You can't wait anymore. I mean, this is good. Actually, h3 might make knight h5 a little bit more viable. He just wanted to play bishop e3, okay. So we have a normal type of position. Black lost the tempo with queen c7. And now e5. Looks fine. This Mr. Coffee move from earlier today. No, we don't need to do that. We've got this and wicked knight b6. You went over there. Man, it looks like our hero is just like looking for insane kingside mania. I'm being materialistic with knight d5. looking for knight b6. Alright, this is still a good move, probably. Are we threatening knight h7? e6 and knight h7. Fun. It's looking a little bit like the game you submitted maybe last week or 2 weeks ago, where you had a mate and you didn't get it. There's a lot of lines in the Pirts where there's insanely dynamic positions, and maybe it looks scary, but black can defend. It feels like one of those. Perhaps black can give up material and somehow survive this. If he takes, is it over? Because I'm not fully convinced. Queen h5 check. Can somebody tell me where I am? I mean, it seems like the knight on f6 is going to be a pretty good defender. How exactly does this work? The engine thinks you're full of it. I kind of agree. King h7, queen h5 check, king g8, and it thinks you're good enough for a draw. Now this is interesting. So if queen g6, what about knight f6? Unclear. There's queen e8. All these variations are unclear, which leads us to the next conclusion. Wow. I mean, I wonder, going back here, if my move was better. Yeah. It's still not clear. This threat to win the exchange can be met with a couple of different moves. Rook b8, maybe a queen move, even queen b7. Though queen b7, bishop e4 looks really scary. Queen d8, I guess. White is on the verge of winning, but it's not that easy. So I can understand how Mr. Slowhand was tempted to go kingside. I mean, most of his pieces are pointing at the king side. Knight g5 seems like a legitimate try. But so apparently, like, his mistake was doing e6. So this is really strong. Wow. But I mean, it's hard to see how exactly this works. How does it work? If f5, pawn takes e5, how does it work? Juicebox, welcome. Welcome everybody. Tell your friends and enemies to come by and join us. The stream is not being displayed on, streams are not being displayed on lichess. So we need your support to get the word out. And I will send messages to the subscribers. Well, knight h7 is always a threat, but you know, that queen is going to be hanging in variations like f5, d takes e5, d takes e5. I mean, I'm just thinking this is loose. So we've got discoveries that we didn't have before. But basically, Mr. Slowhand was sitting there, you know, with white, and he plays this sort of natural pawn sack. The engine says like f5 is a crushing move, but it's not obvious, you know. It's not entirely obvious this is crushing. There's probably some pretty complicated variations involved here. So it's like here, now you do knight h7. Wow. That's insane. And it's still wildly complicated. Counterattack. Grab a rook. Have a rook and sit down. The engine thinks it's close. It's a very, very complex position. Total insanity. My only reservation here really was on knight g5. Feels like you're going a little bit like nuts, you know. If there was a way to play this in a little bit of a more controlled way, that's why I like this move. But apparently even this is not convincing. Also just better for white, but not winning. No easy move. So let's see what happens. Knight h7 coming up next. Maybe you should just play it straight up. You could play it straight up and play f5. Feels like Very similar to the other line, though. Another option. Wow, cool game. Let's see what happened. So black didn't take back on h7. Takes the knight. And took the exchange. So at the end of the day here, we won an exchange. Like a clean exchange. So after bishop c4, he could play this. I have to agree, that I'd rather not lose the exchange if I don't have to. Black is still hanging on after that. So bishop c4 is a mistake. But how? You could have taken this first. And if knight e3, you take on d7. If knight d1, what do we got? Knight d1, knight d1, bishop d4 check. What is going on? We're just up a rook. Although the knight might be trapped at d7. The knight is kind of trapped. But not really. So you have this move, and then this. And then, ironically, the knight isn't really trapped anymore. That's kind of funny. There's no way to actually win it. Yeah. So just like some sort of sloppy tactics. You should have taken the rook right away. It was an inaccuracy. He didn't take advantage, and now you're just up the exchange. His only chance is this super bishop on the long diagonal. Yeah, but I mean, this is even good. All right, not so easy to win. Let's see. He doesn't take. What about takes? Instead of knight g7, let's take here. Ambulance number 5. So ed5, knight d5, and the threat of knight b6 again. But there is the long diagonal. Watch out. You can't give up your white square bishop or you're done. If you play bishop d5, forget about it. That's the only chance in this position. The fact that black has this, like, joker on the long diagonal. The joker! But, yeah, it's hard. Knight b6 threat. How do you deal with that? Strong knight on d5. White has attacking chances. Queen c6 or something. That's a problem. Come to think of it, this is an issue. Oof. Well, Mr. Slowhand, do you have a suggestion for us? Because I'm starting to think that black, has legit chances here. If you get to take that pawn and I can't take it back, the pawn center becomes this massive amoeba. And I'm beginning to believe in black's position. Maybe d5 was a blunder. Okay, let's just say, okay, I agree. It's kind of unclear. Bishop d4, good idea. Blocking it up. But still not clear what's happening. What is the evaluation? Plus 1.6, 2. Still a battle. 1.5. It's around just about winning. You're up the exchange, but he could have put up some resistance. That's nasty, though. If you take, you, like, lose immediately. So queen c6 resigns. Ouch. Just game over. Like, so here. How about what? f5? f5's an idea. So, knight g7, queen g4. He stays bottled up with that pin now. And g6 is hanging. Black's in trouble. You got him where you want him now. Knight f5. Okay, we need to improve. We need another threat now. Keep the initiative. Knight e4. This idea. I expected something to do with knight e4. Can you do it? It's still probably messy. Oh, this is strong. Okay, it looks like your move is strong as well. Queen h4 check. King here. But what is the idea now? I don't quite follow. What does the engine even suggest? g4. That's a tough move to find. However, bishop d4 goes back to your other idea. h8. That's a strong move. What did you do? g4 is a hard move to play, man. I mean, I don't think that we're going to play that. It's scary. Diagonal. That would take some time and some calculation. He went back to h7, and now you did play g4. I don't think we're going to play that. I don't know Mr. Slowhand well enough. f5, nice. Brute force, m8. Yeah, it's over. That was a good battle, though. As always, Mr. Slowhand probably almost always submits like the most interesting game. WJ Loof, Stefanos, and Yabatis are remaining for today, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe and support the stream. We stream here on lichess, on Twitch, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 11 a.m. Central European Summertime, and Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sunday nights at 6:30 p.m. CEST. Next stream will be tomorrow morning, Friday. Tomorrow morning, Friday at 11 a.m. Central European Summertime, guys. Check out some fast blitz. Well, fast for us anyway. WJ Loof submitted a game. I played 2 games today. The first I blundered, made in 1. Check, made in 1 to be exact. Maybe in another 3 years I might notice these things. Well, maybe one day you can get to play some serious chess and do a tournament or something. Coronavirus making everybody's life a little difficult. I've noticed my performance has gone down lately. I can't imagine why. WJ Loof. Things in the United States are a lot tougher than here, but I'm certainly not exactly concentrating on my chess game. The top of my ability. Blobix can attest to that. Let's take a look. WJ Loof. And guys, thank you who did support the stream. Many of you regularly. I really appreciate it. WJ Loof, 2 inaccuracies, 1 blunder, 44 cent upon loss. Not bad. So you were playing Ross Limo Sicilian. This is Magnus Carlsen's favorite. Bishop e5 check. And I think that most people gravitate toward Bishop d7, the stablest move. Most players... I play this by transposition with black against the normal Rossalimo. I mean, most people don't really love doubled pawns, so they don't like to play this line. And the other line is simpler. If you're just interposing with the bishop on d7, Magnus has really taken this bishop e5 check under his wing. He's been playing it tons in the last, 10 years. I don't know about recently, but you see games there from 2015. Most recently, You don't want to be too predictable. Magnus is smart, and he doesn't really like, continue to play the same thing for extended periods of time. But knight d7 is the most aggressive move. Black doesn't, isn't willing to trade bishops on equal terms. We're trying to cast doubt on bishop e5 and say, okay, you can have a knight if you want to, but I'm not going to even justify. Basically, we're not even going to justify bishop e5 check. We're going to try to get the bishop for the knight and prove that bishop e5 check is an artificial move. But it's not really. Spoiler, bishop e5 check is a good move for white. It's not great, but it's good. I think black can probably equalize at best here. And then a6. So, yeah, here, I've never played this line for black, but I do know that black can also play knight f6. I don't know where it stands, the theory between these two moves, a6 and knight f6. I guess that's about it. You really don't have too many other options. I mean, e6 probably you could play, but one or the other typically. Now, it does feel like black is falling behind in development here, but the question is, can white open up the position in order to exploit it or not? Bishop d7, bishop d7, d3. Fake me out. I was ready to play. I thought you knew the line, so I was ready to play d4. So obviously WJ Loof has been a little busy with inspecting mines and the coronavirus pandemic to brush up on his handling of this variation with d4. I will say that this type of position, it's a paradox, because you have a situation where, in one sense, black wants to open the position ultimately because he has the bishop pair. But in the other sense, that's in the long-term scheme. In the other sense, white wants to open the position now because white is ahead in development now. But it creates this conflict of principles. So which is right? Should black want the position open because he has the bishop pair? Or should white want the position open because he's ahead in development? The only thing you can do is evaluate the position, with correct moves by both sides to see what happens, which is right. When you play d3, it's okay. I mean, you're playing kind of passively. Your position is fundamentally sound, but you've given up your bishop for not really enough. I think that's what we're really looking at here. It's still solid for white, but it's just surrendering that bishop on d7 and not really getting anything in return. So, I mean, I would imagine we could look at other options. This one in particular, all right? The Danny Kopech style retreat. Magnus has played this a lot. And years ago, this variation didn't even exist. When I first started studying the black side of the Sicilian, I don't think this move was even around. But it's become pretty viable alternative. I think you should seriously consider playing it. The idea is to play c3 and bring the bishop back to c2, and then to hold on to it, and to play for d4 later. Because once you do bishop takes d7, I think you have to follow up with d4 here. All right. Well, let's see what happens. Knight f6. White might have e5. I've shown you that before in similar structures. On knight f6, we could play e5. And this is probably okay, but only equal. It's probably about equal. I don't know. What if black tries to keep his bishop pair with something weird like bishop e6? The engine is thinking that white's better. It's a difficult question. And then again, it's the conflict of is opening the position the right idea here or not, So you don't do it. You just played h3, all right? And now you did it. Now, one question in this position, I wonder if black could play bishop c8. It's very slow. You know, it would take a lot of time, but could he somehow bring the bishop to b7 and keep it and use it to make you resign 25 moves from now? It's something to consider. Seriously. It's possible. I want to see if the engine likes that move. It's slow. And the computer thinks that white is better, but not that much better. You know, the question would be, could he get away with that, keeping that bishop for the long run? It's an interesting debate. Anyway, black just developed here. It's safe. It's equal. One thing, last thing, before we move on. When you play this move, e5, well, you've got to consider the ramifications of the pawn structure. So, like, d takes e5. Now, black has control of the file here. Well, half-open file here. And there's the kind of pressure there. White has this half-open file here. Black might be able to do like a pawn break with like b5 and c4 and try to pressure you on those open lines. You need to think about what you're doing when you play e5. It changes the structure, you know, for the long term. All right, so take here, rook e1. It's a solid move. Queen c7 now. Yeah, you should just probably take his bishop on d7. You know, luckily you don't have to worry about like bishop takes h2 check. I would just probably play knight d7, and it's an equal position. Not really much exciting going on here. But this move, putting yourself in a pin, could lead to tactical complications. Knight d5. It looks like there's possibly knight d5 and f6. I'm going to have to be careful. I don't really like pinning myself. The other option is knight c4. Also possible, going for the other bishop. If we eliminate this dark square bishop, we would create a completely different style game where it's like opposite colored bishops. One of Blavic's favorite ideas to play like b3, bishop b2, and just try to conquer black with our own dark square bishop on the long diagonal. There are different ways to interpret this position. This pin looks dangerous, though. You gotta watch out for this. Taking away this, knight c4. b5 is a good move for black. And this is a positional howler, I would call it. It's ironic because like it doesn't look that bad in this particular moment, you know? And maybe in reality it's not that bad of a move. As I said in many of my streams, if a weakness can't be attacked, it's not a weakness. I mean, if black can't use this pressure down the d file, then c4 is not such a bad move. I like the fact that this move is kind of thinking outside the box. Most people, including myself, would be reticent to play this move. When you're newer to chess, you have a more open mind. I might like just dismiss this move automatically because I'm creating a weakness at d3. And that's a little too dogmatic. So I like the creativity that white's, you know, displaying here with the move c4. But you have to be aware that you may create a long-term weakness for yourself. You're taking away the possibility of knight d5. That's good. Immediately your opponent gravitates to the d file. And I think like he might be planning bishop e8 to guard f7. I was speaking of f7. So black should... He feared this, but this is not a threat. Bishop e8. And I don't know. That's one step closer to pressure down the d file. So let's see what the oracle says. I keep suggesting bishop e8 for some reason. This is the second time I was like, what does the oracle think of bishop e8? Bishop e8 is a good move, man. It's number 1. That's from analyzing too many Steinitz games. That bishop, I have a thing, you know, for preserving bishop pairs. I've won more games because of the bishop pair than like any other advantage. The bishop e8 is the best move. All right, h6 is bad. It looks like perhaps you just tactically blundered. Now what do we do, though? It's not easy to see. At the end of the day, there's this backwardness along the file that we're going to have to pay the ultimate price for if we don't have anything. So you need to find something. I was looking at knight f1, maybe transferring somewhere. Maybe you could just double your rooks. What about rook e2 and double up here? Overprotect the strong point on e5. Probably this is the best. Bishop e8, rook e2, bishop e8, rook e1. We'll just overprotect our e5. But this is a tactical mistake. But you did it to yourself. You introduced this position. What about bishop e5? It could lead to insane complications, like take, rook takes, pawn takes, bishop h6. I'm a little bit scared about this. I don't think I like this position. How do you get out of that? Is that a problem? King h7 only move? What is this, like a draw by repetition? Queen f7, king h6. Is there more than a draw here? That's the question. Wow, there isn't even a draw. It's not a draw. Queen f6, king h7, queen f7, king h8, and there's no perpetual? Are you kidding me? I'd have been so confident there was a perpetual, but you like walk away. Oh my god. What? And the king walks away. Oh my god. And then you just go and hide in the corner. It's just going to walk out into d6 land and win for black. That would be embarrassing to sacrifice all your pieces for perpetual check that wasn't there. Anyway. Well, apparently the game continuation was knight e4. Knight e4, okay, that's a good move. Queen e4. It was too dangerous anyway. There was a lot going on there. I don't know why this player like has something against bishop e8. He has such a beautiful position. There's no reason not to play bishop e8. And now all you need to do is just take on d7. It almost looks like you're getting a piece trapped, though. This is true. It might look like your knight is trapped on d7, but I'm not sure. Simple. And this is just not doing anything. Yeah, you just have to like accept sometimes that it's not a win or there's nothing there. I guess you could play knight g6, but then f5. Maybe even knight g6 is okay. Complicated. I would just like take here and draw probably. It's a draw. I mean, queen e6, rook e6, rook d3. This should be a draw. It's just too equal for either side to be significantly better. You just have to accept that there's not enough there. After f6, you have just a draw, and you went too far. Black has bishop e5, and you're not threatening anything. You're threatening queen g6, which is easily defended by like bishop e8. And the queen defends laterally. Bishop e8 is the secret. Black did not know about that move. He did not know bishop's move diagonally backward. After this gets mated with queen g6 check, ouch. There's f7 or f7. Yeah, that's ugly, man. All right, I've still got 2 games, guys. I gotta pick up the pace here a little bit. We're falling behind schedule. Stefanos and Yabatis, trolling a roll. And Coach Ah is here. Still haven't gotten back to your email, Coach Ah. I've got a lot going on. I will contact you about training games. I've got a long list of important business to tend to. All right, Stefanos and Yabatis. Thanks, guys, for joining us for Subscriber Stream. Remember, we need your support. Streamers not displayed due to technical reasons on lichess at the moment, so our viewer numbers are down a little bit. We need to compensate dedicated viewers. Stefanos, okay. Where is it? Thank you guys to all of you for being subscribers. Game of yours in Najdorf, okay? So in the Najdorf, does that mean with white or black? You must be white because white played 6h3, and I played a game with Stefanos last week or this week where I played the Najdorf. I'm just glad the Troll and a Roll is still on here watching, increasing our viewer numbers. Yeah, no, we had an interesting game. I saw that h3, and I knew it was you. I feel like when people say, like, I had a game in the Najdorf, usually they're talking about, like, the Najdorf because they like the Najdorf. They would usually say against the Najdorf. You're with the Najdorf or you're against the Najdorf? Knight c3, a6. The Najdorf and probably the Sveshnikov are like black's best Sicilians. Maybe e6. Solid e6 lines. So h3. I mean, this is just one of many variations. Did you say against Najdorf? All right. Maybe you did. e5. I don't trust my memory. I have chess dementia. e5, knight on d to e2. So I don't know too much about this line. All I know is knight b3 doesn't really make so much sense here. You know, I would think like knight f3 wouldn't be so bad though. Why are there so few games with knight f3? I mean, oftentimes h3 is played in conjunction with knight f3. I would think that would be like a solid move. Anand Esserman. 1-0. Knight on d to e2. This is standard. Yeah, of course. I don't know the line. I don't play either side of this. I've only seen games. Hold on for a second. So, again, I'm only like gonna go with the opening book here. I don't really know. I've seen some games. You could possibly transfer to some sort of g3. I know the main idea is to play g4. Your boss came in and I missed everything. Uh-oh. I'm gonna get a nasty email from your boss. Distracting my workers again. Alright. But knight on g to e2. I mean, I don't know what black's position. I like the h5. This is the late lazy man's approach to the Najdorf. Everyone plays h5 against everything. My friend Zlatko Linčić It's ridiculous. But years ago, he actually played h5 against bishop e2. He's got several games here. I mean, it's gotten to the point where people are playing h5 against bishop e2. I got paired with him in the Hungarian Team Championship, and I swear to God, I never play bishop e2 against a Najdorf, but I was tempted to play this. I was extremely tempted. If you're going to play h5, I mean, this just seems like it's going too far. You know, we're just playing, why not just play it on the first move or something? Like bishop e2, you know, okay, here it has some sense. I mean, I think h3 is like threatening g4. e5, knight e2, and now h5. And here it really messes white up, because that's going to mess up your entire plan. Your plan is to transfer your knight to h5. Topalov loves h5. Yeah, I mean, he was one of the ones that, you know, really, exactly, like, went on to popularize this idea of playing h5 in the Najdorf, largely because of Topalov and aggressive players like that. Ambulance number 6. So that's 6 ambulances in 3 hours. Not a bad rate. This is actually the most common move now. Wow. I don't think that would have been the case years ago. But of course b5 makes sense. To try to play bishop b7 and put pressure on the e4 pawn. Right, okay, so you're saying on h5 you play bishop g5. This is usually like a good idea. And you're fundamentally putting pressure on the d5 square. Okay, there's systems, but that's got to be like a critical test against h5. I agree. All right, so the more traditional approach. When you play this type of position, you know, you're always going knight g3. I mean, I imagine like 99% of the time. There's actually 2 ambulances simultaneously coming now. f4. Could be f4, an alternative. I mean, black is ready to play d5, so we have to go quickly now. Black is just about to play d5. It's possible to play it right away. So apparently, this has been played. Michael Brooks taking out Shabalov. A relatively late U.S. championship. The garden spot of the world, St. Louis Chess Club. But I don't know. Michael Brooks, of course, from Missouri. But I don't know, guys. Is d5 makes sense? What's wrong with d5? What do we got here? ed5, knight d5, bishop g2, bishop b4, Kamsky beats Shankland, castles, bishop takes c3, knight takes c3, endgame. This looks like a fun endgame for black, for example. No, not really, I'm just kidding. Black lost almost every single game. Well, we never really did quite get anything going on that long diagonal. Knight c6. Yeah, this is torture. This doesn't look good. So this is what happens if you play d5. Padron Antoni, welcome. All right, anyway, back to game. So bishop g2, castles, bishop e3, and now b5. Now, why is b5 not common? I can guarantee you that all of these games are correspondence games. So this variation was tested in a correspondence tournament in 2000. These are correspondence tournaments. I'm almost 100% sure. I never heard of any of these people. I know everyone. Well, at least I did until 2012. I'm not sure I like b5. The developing move looks better. Then the knight doesn't have the retreat square there. But I mean, shouldn't you go like knight g3 first? Okay, I like knight bd7 better. Black played what? b5. Now g5. Again, I feel like you should play this to stop knight h5. Shouldn't you? Or wouldn't that be like the most standard plan? I hate when my knights get stuck on that track like in Botanic English. I've had one game where I had to it was a King's Indian, Botanic English type position, and I just had to resign, and I never moved my knights from like c3 and e2. They just got stuck in the track. The problem with like g5 is that he could go knight h5, no? Is it not an issue here? If it's not an issue, it's not an issue. It's not an issue. Oh, we had the game ourselves, right? With something similar. Ironically, we had the game in the dragon type of structure where this happened. Okay. I don't know. That's interesting. I would think like knight g3, threatening g5. It also gives you a retreat square over here, although you're probably going to play knight d5, I guess. If you're forced to by b4, you're probably going to push the knight onto d5. Wow. Alright guys, I've got to go. I have 10 minutes. We're going to finish this game up and then take a look at Yabatis' game. But I'm wondering about the white king here. My fear in this position is the white king. The white king is... it needs to declare where it's going. We need to secure its future. But I agree, like black looks passive now. With the knight's redundant on d7. Knight d5. And he takes, and then... Now... white square bishop is really dangerous. It could also be a bad piece, though, in some circumstances. I've seen this theme in the English attack, where you take the knight on b6, but I'm not sure you need to do it here. I'm actually kind of partial to my bishop pair. But if you don't do it now, he's going to reinforce it with another one. So this is actually a really interesting moment in the game. Oh, you're just winning his rook. What am I talking about? You're winning his rook? I'm sorry? Master? Your queen is trapped. How convenient. The queen is trapped. All right, it takes me a while. A little bit, like, tactics take me a little bit to realize what's happening. All right, so you take, and I can trap your queen. All right. So the queen gets trapped for 2 rooks. That's kind of unclear. Thanks for trading me out, Blubix. So you take here. You know, do you have to take here? I'm real partial to that bishop, you know, on e3. I like it. It's a good piece. It is a little bit momentarily blocked by the pawn on g5, but if we can hold on to it, I would hold on to it. I admit, you know, you might still be better, but there's also holes in your position. This is a problem. There's some weakness on the dark squares now that we're going to have to be mindful of. I mean, maybe g6, stopping. I don't want to let that happen. You know, he shouldn't let the knight come to f5. Is this something wrong with g6? Because I think you should play it. Yes. See? It's a miscalculation. He forgot you could play knight f5, like take on e7 and take back on d5, or it doesn't even matter. He's just taking a bishop with check. See, that's a problem. What happened is very significant. That knight is in the game. If black had played g6 instead, we have a completely different situation here. Now you're going to have to redeploy. It looks like you actually have knight f1, knight e3. It might still be good. That's going to take time, though, to get your knight to an active position. So you were lucky there. You know, probably, let's see. The engine calls it equal after g6. But after this move, he's in big trouble. Now you're just massaging. Yeah, it's almost like a pity to take his pawn. The knight is so strong, I almost don't want to take. Maybe you should just wait, I don't know. It's probably good enough. And now it's entrenched on another outpost. So it was an interesting game. But definitely a lot to think about. You know, you could have improved. Bishop takes b6 is a really important decision, and I'm not sure that's the right move. All right, thanks for the game. Ubatis, you're up last. We kept him up. He's maybe going to watch the replay. Thanks, everybody, for watching in advance. Thanks to Mr. Coffee. And thanks to all of you guys for subscribing, being part of the stream. GM game I found very funny, possibly also instructive. Not important. Thanks to everybody for being our subscribers. Dinekis, thanks for showing up as well. Guys, can't get our videos. Our stream isn't listed on lichess, so we have fewer viewers than usual. If you can support the stream, you know, hang out as often as you can till it gets straightened out. All right, so this Unzikur against Taimanov, it's just a game that Ubatis sent in. Classical Sicilian with bishop e2. Who did I have a game with in this? Somebody. Was that you, Stefanos? Somebody I played this variation with. This is like the Boleslavsky variation. Usually knight b3 here. Knight f3 is actually more common. I did not know that. I thought knight b3 was more common than knight f3. I never played this for black. Was Taimanov ever a world championship contender? I would imagine so. I mean, he had to have been in the candidate cycle. Move 11. h6. Good to see you. h6 against bishop g5. And that's about controlling d5. Very conservative setup, very safe and solid for white. h3. Maybe to prepare bishop e3. But I mean, what's really the purpose behind h3? Is it even the best move for white? I mean, I don't think that bishop g4 is a threat. The only obvious purpose of h3 is that it prepares bishop e3 without being harassed by knight to g4. Yeah, it's funny. If you add a couple more pawns, it looks like a royal Pez. You could have a transfer. I said the only purpose of it was to play that, but you can play g3, bishop g2, and reinforce the control of d5. Wow. Look at White's score in this 20 games that he's played. 21 games. You guys can't see it when I say stuff like that. You can see most of the screen, but White is an amazing scorer in this position. A3 is kind of surprising. It's passive. I don't think it's necessary. I mean, we can play knight d5 if we want to. It really seems feeble. Vasily Smyslov, 1987. Wow. White has played really passively. With b3, a3. But again, his position is very solid. Great move here by black, knight b8, as played by Grunfeld. Ironically, by two players in the same tournament, the same position. That's strange. But I mean, that's always getting in the way. Knight b d7, like as a sort of Lopez maneuver. Rook c7, a cool idea. Maybe too fancy, though. What does he want to do? He's Reti Ricard. Black is Reti Ricard. I definitely prefer knight b8. This feels a little bit over the top. Copying my idea. That's funny. He stole. It's like, if you're not going to play knight b8 and knight d7, I'm going to do it with white. Now knight d8. Is it possible these guys are messing around? Trust those old school grandmasters. It's like Germany versus Russia. They're not like compatriots, so probably not. This is cool. Knight e6. I mean, bishop d3. Anticipating pressure on c2. This move is only a move that only someone on sound could love. I don't really understand bishop d3. I guess he just has to protect e4, yeah. That's ugly. We didn't want to have to play that. Yeah, I guess he just has to. Queen e2 hangs a pawn. It's basically forced. Now knight e6, there's this, and there's this. Oh man. Things could get ugly. That's artificial. You gotta like Ricard here, getting it on. All the black's pieces are working. And look at d5. There's like nothing protecting that. There's a little maneuvering involved. And now g5, h4. We will kill your e4 pawn. Is it just my imagination, or is white getting tied into a little ball here? See, that's not good. When that starts happening, I mean, it means that all your pieces are getting compressed. The spacing of the black pieces is much better here. No, black is crushing at this point. He's really close. I mean, this is nasty, that last piece in the game with bishop g5. It's weird having the queen on a8, though. Totally taking over. This doesn't look good. And finally d5. This is embarrassing for white, actually. Man, just completely crushed. And all the black pieces are in. Well, I didn't expect that. I thought there was some sort of combo. I was expecting rook takes c1 now. Queen takes c1, knight takes here. But it's at the end of the day, that knight is protecting d2. It doesn't really work. No need to go that far. So now what do we have? 3 pieces each. White is just passive. But we're in this eternal pin. How do we get out of this pin? God, f3. My God, this is gone. I guess you can play queen g4, but then f5. That's humiliating. f5 now? Can White try something like this? Is there any hope in this position, Oracle? Apparently he's lost. If Queen G4, F5, Queen G3. Oh, this is gone now. So you have this fork as well. And Knight E2. This is sick. It's a beautiful game. Yeah, timeout, I've just totally outclassed him. I knew things were going south when White had to play Bishop D3. This is just not pretty. He just resigned. He's not even down any material. Just so positionally crushed that he just resigned. Unziker versus Taimanov. This is the point where I knew we were in serious trouble when we had to play Bishop D3. Because that bishop has already moved several times and it looked like it was settled in on F1. Now it's going to D3. Was Taimanov one of the greatest players never to win World Championship? I don't know. He'd be in the top, 30 or something, but I'm not sure he was like on everybody's. He wasn't that dominant. He was an extremely strong player, but not totally dominant like Kiriz or Korchnoi, Rubinstein, I don't think there was ever any discussions of like timeout. You're talking about players like who are challenging, like the World Championship. You got to come up with a name of a player who was like threatening to be the best in the world but wasn't world champion. Like Rubinstein, Korchnoi, Kiriz. They're close to like being as good as the world champion. I don't think Taimanov was in that discussion. But he's a great player. Obviously, you can see from this game. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. We're going to be back on Friday with some Blitz. Time to go. I appreciate it. Everybody showing up for our subscriber stream. And just for picking up some viewers, which is cool. Thanks, everyone, for your support. And from the Panda and myself, again, we will be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. So don't forget our stream schedule. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. 11. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11. CEST. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sunday nights, 6:30 CEST, Central European Summertime. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you later. You sound like me. Bye-bye, guys.